because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Velas here in Bexley today. Shaq Day joins you, mate. Thank you very much for giving me some of your time. It's a lovely day. How's things?
Good, my friend. Really good. It is a lovely day today, isn't it? Wicked weather.
Looking forward to speaking to some of the boys today, of course. We last caught up, well, I last saw you on Friday night, after Ellis's win. But in terms of us and catching up on IFL and talking about, obviously, yourself, it was immediately after the Jack Martin rematch. The Jack Martin fight. Now you've had time for things to kind of settle in. How do you kind of feel looking back at that night?
I feel good. I've done everything right I could in the night. Probably just didn't throw enough. That I would say about it. Other than that, I feel good about it. Done everything right in camp. Had a great camp. Got in shape. Done everything possible. And then I'd say I might not have won the fight, but I won in life outside of that. So I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. Does that kind of being content with everything around you, is it made easier from the fact you've had defeats of previous? Because I can imagine perhaps defeat number 1 would have been a lot more difficult to take.
It's not even defeats of previous. It's just maturing in life. Like, I've got a little girl. I've got another one on the way. So I don't actually get to see my little girl as much as I want to. But what I do get now is like unbelievable from what it has been. So that's the wins that I've had in life. So I've done that. I've done a lot of other stuff outside, personal stuff, that has made me build and be a better person for myself. So, yeah, I've done a lot of good things personally outside of boxing, because there is, not to say it in a weird way, but outside of boxing there's more to life than there is just boxing. So I've got a boxing gym and I can see that firsthand. So when I see people say, oh, everything's boxing, but it's like, no, you got to enjoy your life at the same time, my friend. Can't just be a boxing robot without any life goals as well as just boxing. Do you know what I mean? So that's, for me, I feel like I've learned a lot, become a lot better as a person, and moved on massively and matured massively as a person. So
has that kind of changed as you've gone on throughout your career? So let's just say we take it back to the building stage of 1-0, 2-0 stage. Yeah. Was it just constant boxing? Was your whole life surrounded by boxing?
100%. Yeah, I was younger, just doing exactly what I wanted to do in my life and pushing forward for what I knew I wanted to do and become. So when it comes to being young at it, definitely put it all into it. But when you mature and get a bit older and you see there's a lot more to life than just one thing, then you understand it a lot more. But when you are in a camp, you focus completely. That is me. I do focus completely on what I've got to do and a job at hand. And that's what I did for the camp. I focused completely, solely on it, done everything correctly. And I couldn't have asked more from myself and everyone around me. So I'm happy with the way everything went. Just didn't get the win, that's all it is.
You just said to me off camera that you haven't watched the fight back yet. What's your reasoning for that?
No, there's no reason behind not watching it back. Probably a bit lazy, so I ain't spent no time to look and watch it. But if I do, when I do watch it back, I'll let you know how I feel about it. It might be a different perspective and change my view on it a little bit. But me personally, from what I can remember of the night and how it went, I'm quite happy with what I did and portraying my skills and what I got in the locker and whatever else. So I'm quite happy with it, massively.
Moving on from here, obviously, you come up short for the title that night, but you've won the Southern Area of previous. Is it that kind of want to become Southern Area champion, a two-weight Southern Area champion? Is that kind of the want inside you at the moment in terms of your boxing?
That'd be lovely, yeah. To win 2 Southern Area titles at 2 weight categories, wicked, proper part of history. People will see my name twice and they'll be like, oh wow, he didn't just do it once. But obviously there's more to it. Move on, onwards and upwards. If I can get past that and go for something else, then I will go for something else. I'm not against that at all. But right after my fight, I had to do a few things for the British board and whatever else for my brain thing. So now that's all out of the way. I can get a fight lined up. But other than that, right now I've just been focused on me, baby coming. So when all that gets out of the way, I can get back in camp and solely focus on fighting again.
Yeah, congratulations on that, by the way, from everyone at IFL TV. I know obviously you've been in so many entertaining fights, and we spoke after the fight and you said it does feel a lot better as a fighter going in and coming out knowing that you've actually entertained the people that are there to watch you. Is that important for you as well? Is the next fight you go in, if you've got to look at your opponent and go, we're going to gel, and this is going to be good, and it's going to be one that the fans are going to walk away and think, yeah, fuck me, that was a banger.
Yeah, that's mainly what it. Listen, it's the entertainment business at the end of the day. If we're not in it to entertain the fans, then what are we in it for? As well as showcasing your skills on the highest level possible. So when it comes to the entertainment side, I was very pleased with the entertainment. Everyone said it's the best fight that I've ever watched live at your call. So I'm pleased to be part of that history of it and be pleased to be part of a war, I can say.
Obviously, it is a very here and now game, boxing. You can only look so far into the future. But because you kind of seem like you've got everything set, you've got your life outside that you're happy with, have you kind of thought about perhaps the end goal with boxing, be it a title, a couple of bucket list things you want to tick off, just kind of the end goal that when you hang the gloves up, you can go, yeah, that I done what I wanted to do there.
Yeah, definitely. At minimum, for me personally, it's a British title. So I feel like I'm. So first and foremost, I got to say that was my first as a light middle or super welterweight, and my first competitive fight since the lockdown. So for me, that was a major stepping stone as itself as it is. Probably needed a couple more competitive fights to get to that stage where I could have really showcased my skills and put on a better performance. If you say I could have put on a better performance on a night. And then minimum for me, title-wise, British. If I can come out of it with a British, I've smashed it. And then obviously the world titles and whatever else, they'll be the dream, really be the dream, to sit at home with a world title and say, like, I've really done everything I can do as a boxer and becoming a world champion. So that would be amazing.
Just talking about the fight with you and Jack, I kind of feel like looking at it, maybe on paper, it's above a Southern Area level title level fight. Did you feel that?
Yeah. You'd probably say so now after watching it, after being at it, it probably definitely feels more than it was a Southern Area. Definitely could have been for an English, which would have made certain it would have been for a wicked British title. So like as if that was both of us going into English title fight, winning it, one of us, like he did, he won it. And then him going on to fight for a British, he would just line it straight up for an entertaining fight no matter what, because whoever fights him next is going to be in trouble. Same thing with me. So whoever wants to fight me next is going to have has to be the best they can be on a night to make sure they can do everything they can to beat me, because I will really show and prove everything I've got inside of me to be the best.
And looking at that fight as well, I can imagine you walk away and thought, I really want, obviously every fight wants this, and I kind of perhaps deserve a TV slot. When I get in the ring, I entertain. Everyone obviously wants to be on TV, didn't they? But I suppose, like you said, if that was for an English and Jack went on for the British, you and Jack, I look at it as a fight, a rematch for TV. Like.
Oh, 100%. If that was a TV show, definitely would have been a rematch.
Imagine how well that would have gone down if that was like, just say on a Sky Sports card.
Oh,
100%. Third down the card.
100%. It would have gone down wicked. The crowd would have been really engaged. The commentators, the viewings on the channel would have gone up at the time, because people would have been like, wow, this is a really good fight. Got to stay involved with this one. It's not boring at all, because it weren't boring from start to finish. So if that was a TV slot, it would have been a major slot and been talked about still now. And probably people were saying we have to have the rematch, definitely, for, if not for the Southern, for English, because people would have wanted to see it at a higher level.
It was a brilliant fight. Obviously, I know you're looking to move on now. You got everything kind of set ready. When can we expect to see you in the ring again? If you to put kind of a rough date, a rough month this year.
I would say September. September for sure. But just I'm gonna have the babies June the 1st, and then once that happens and whatever else, I can go into camp after that. So potentially from July, I can get really knuckled down and be in camp again. But I've not kept myself out of camp. I've been training this whole time. So I'm not out of shape or nothing. So anything gets thrown at me, I could have it. But I do solely want to focus on having a baby at the minute. So that's the main thing in life right now.
Any similarities? Because I know you've got a little girl already. So any similarities between being a dad and being a fighter?
Not really. Because it's so selfish, the sport. It's hard to. There's not really many similarities, but it just teaches you discipline, which will allow you to teach that to your kids.
Do you want to bring your kids up in the boxing world, be it them be very around you when you're doing it, be it you encouraging them to get involved in the sport?
I'd rather
'Cause I know
them,
loads of boxers are so 50. It's such a 50-50 question.
I'd rather them just be around me doing it than actually want to do it, because I know how tough it is and how hard the game is. So I wouldn't really want them to put gloves on and have a fight. Not in my personal opinion, but I'd love to be able them to be able to protect themselves and be able to hit pads at a really high level and things like that, and just feel confident within themselves to know that they can. And that's the main thing for me, just building their confidence, their discipline, knowing how to get themselves in shape and how hard you got to push when you work hard. So things like that, just teaching them little morals in life.
Well, we'll revisit this when, in 20 years' time, there's another Southern Area champion in the family, and it's one of yours. Yeah, Shaq, thanks very much for giving me some of your time. Just kind of a little summary of everything that's going on at the moment, and I look forward to seeing you back in the ring soon.
Wicked, thank you very much. See you soon, my friend.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,